Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Parents and technology are never a good mix.
No.
And I feel bad for them because obviously they've missed the boat with it. My mum's 70 now, so she's not necessarily up and about with the latest gear.
Well, it's crazy that, I guess, we grew up in the age where computers were taught at school and everything. So, as annoying as it is, it would be quite hard for them, the oldies, to, get your head around it.
Absolutely. And I'm not proud of myself, but last week as a 32-year-old woman, I screamed at my mum over a marketplace listing I put up for her. And she kept marking it as sold, and then getting really distressed that it kept saying it was sold, but she kept pressing the button.
Yeah.
And anyway, I lost my cool, and the next day I was profusely apologising, once I normally got my levels back together, and I was like, wow, that was probably a misstep.
Yeah. But it does get frustrating, though, because it is over, it's always a small little issue that the oldies have with the computer, so it's, quite frustrating.
Yeah, I guess being younger and children of people that aren't really good with technology, you just become the IT guy around the house.
Oh, it
Yes.
sucks because my biggest gripe as well is that I'm not that good at IT stuff, really, for what my parents require. Some heavy internet banking stuff, questions like that. How the hell am I meant to know, or to get rid of a virus or something? We don't know everything.
Yeah, and I think but explaining that to your parents as well, going through the motions, it can be one of the most frustrating things. But we're not going through that today because, as I said, we established Irene isn't good with technology, and yesterday she missed a social media cue, and it was one of the greats. So she's obviously gone and checked out her memories. She's had the notification from Facebook saying, hey, you've got memories to look back on today. So she's gone through and she's scrolling through and she's seen a beautiful photo of me and my two cousins.
Yeah.
The caption saying, celebrating Lauren and ex-partner's engagement, wishing them a lifetime of happiness and love.
Wow. But, full name of the ex-partner and...
Yeah. And she's reshared that to her newsfeed.
Oh. It's just... It's just really on the nose, isn't it? Big engagement, big part of your life.
But also,
it ended, and you don't want to be reminded of it though.
Yeah, but also then it starts gathering likes.
It gets attention.
Right. Oh, and because were you tagged in it as well?
Yes.
So it's coming up on your
We were
feed.
both tagged in it,
Right.
People doing the shock reaction face, thinking they get it back together.
Oh, God. Yeah, it was pretty mortifying. But do you know what? That's not even the worst of it. She did this last year as well.
Oh, no, the same picture.
okay.
The same photo.
What is she
So
doing?
it's like a little anniversary every year. You get reminded what could have been.
It's a precious time. But Tom, I know my mum's not alone. Your dad, Phil, does a bit of a misstep online too.
So my dad, he reckons he's quite savvy with all the technology. He's on all the social media platforms.
Oh, yeah.
right?
He comments on everything we post. I love it.
Yeah, and he recently, well, not too recently, but a while ago he discovered about the reactions thing on Instagram.
Yeah,
where
the story reactions.
you can look at someone's story, and if you slide up, you can send an emoji to react. And obviously, Dad being, a 60-year-old man tomorrow, actually.
Happy birthday, Phil.
Happy birthday, Phil. He doesn't realise what the emojis mean.
No.
And he will often send off a fire emoji.
Oh, yeah.
And this isn't just to me. This is to
Me.
everyone. To you,
I get it
Gavin.
all the time.
Old fresh host Loz from Loz and Tomo.
yes.
She gets them.
So obviously,
Callum gets them.
So obviously he thinks,
Our boss Sophie gets them. He doesn't realise that the fire emoji is saying
You're
you're
hot.
pretty
You're
hot.
right. Let's go.
So he reckons it's just like a nice compliment, just a standard generic compliment.
I
Hey,
reckon
this is fire.
he's going off old lingo, thinking fire, that's fire. That's great. You're
And
having
he probably
the
thinks
best time.
it's quite up to date, thinking that
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
He's
He's like
one step behind.
My dad, Phil, is literally like Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
Yeah.
He thinks he knows all the young kid lingo.
You know what, though? It's been amazing for my self-esteem.
Keep the fire coming.
What are your parents doing on the internet, Adelaide? Plenty of people getting involved on the text line right now. Somebody's texted in here saying, my mum thinks lol means lots of love, even though I've told her over and over again so you can get in on inappropriate messages, such as something really sad, and it is like she's laughing.
Oh, no.
I feel like that's a common one. You do hear about old parents, going on, funeral posts, or, someone's passed away. And
there's an age bracket where you have to start thinking of lol as lots of love.
Yeah, that's true. What about this one here? It says, my mum likes all of my ex's posts with his new girlfriend. I've asked her to stop, but she claims she doesn't know she's doing it.
Jeez.
That is a passive-aggressive mum.
The one that got away.
Slippery fingers. Someone said, my dad uses Roffle. It's mortifying. Roffle is, it's not a great one, is it?
Bring it back, I say.
Rolling on the floor laughing, if anyone doesn't know what that means.
Another text here. My dad loves to comment on all of my friends' Instagram posts, jabbing at my friends. If I'm not in the photo and they're hanging out with someone else, he's making me look crazy, and it's not helping with my image.
The image.
Lol. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Thank you.
This one here, I once told my mum about a girl I was sleeping with. I regretted it immediately when she started following her and liking all of her photos. It was casual and she got freaked out and ended things.
Jeez, you would though. You would if the parents latching on. But this one here is crazy. The last text, someone said, my uncle doesn't know how to privately message, so he would just post to my feed. One day he posted on my Facebook page a link to hemorrhoid cream after a private conversation. Man ruined his social status for life. That's not one you're calling back from.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
There's been an article on the Daily Mail pop up, obviously top tier journalism as per usual, and it had a pretty alarming title. And the title was, Doctor finds common act has surpassed smoking and alcohol as greatest risk factor for throat cancer.
Jeez, that's a mouthful.
It is. It's
Good one.
good gear. Well, the act in question is oral sessions.
Right. Okay.
And this is where it gets a little bit sus for me, okay? It says men are at more risk. And I just think, of course, this is the case. An article deterring men from doing this. The little joy us women have in life.
So it's
and the
telling-
Daily Mail is here crapping all over it.
Wow, so it's saying, yes, that guys, if they were to participate, they're at more risk for the throat cancer.
Yes.
Jeez, I'm going to have to revoke my nickname as the human lizard. I put that on my birth certificate in between my names. I'm going to have to take that one off.
Yeah.
Chip it out.
You sound pretty cocky over there, mate.
Just laying low.
That's insane. I don't know where to go with that. You can't be sitting there calling yourself the human lizard.
It's just what they say.
No, they don't.
Did you at the reptile enclosure?
Did you notice he mentioned that he calls himself that? No one else calls him that.
I call myself that based on what other people say.
Yeah, right over.
No, go on.
So who wrote this article? Was it a bloke?
Of course it was a bloke, Tom. Of course it was.
What a good man. doing us a service.
So what are the repercussions then? What is it coming down to? Like, men can just sit back and having a right time.
Well, it's saying it's more common in men, so women can also have the same issues, but
Right.
it's more common for men, and that is highlighted throughout this article about 17 times.
Could you say this article is a real low blow to all women?
Yes, Tom.
That's it, I'm done. Just get the 5 minutes of silence now.
Sometimes me think, what is friend? Then me say, friend is someone to listen to Davo, Tom and Callum podcast. Cookie, nom 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 nom.
The pageant is one of the biggest events in Adelaide. It was speculated that, 300,000 people or so were going to rock up to it. It was going to be absolutely huge. And, one of the biggest crowds in decades. It's gotten really, really popular. Each year it just gets bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was the 91st National Pharmacies Christmas pageant on the weekend. And yeah, they reckon 315,000 people were there.
Huge, isn't it?
That's a lot of people. Yeah.
It is a lot of people.
And for a lot of people, I didn't have a huge interest in going, really.
No, in fact, I asked Callum on Thursday last week, you're going to go to the pageant, mate? And he said...
I scoffed.
He said, no, there's no way I'll probably not go to a pageant again until I have kids.
Yeah,
and then he started throwing out crazy numbers like 25, 30 years it'll be since I've been to the pageant.
Yeah, well, my whole thing was, I used to go as a kid and I loved it, but at the moment, since I've gotten a bit older, I don't have that much interest in going, and I did say to Tom I made a whole big song and dance that, the next time I'll probably go to the pageant could be in like 20 years' time.
Yeah.
However long until I have a few little rugrats going around.
And Tom was really upset and put his chalk behind his back and walked away.
I thought we could be chalk buddies.
You don't know how much I spent on Crayola.
But so I didn't have a huge interest in going, but it got to the point where we were going to Mary's in the Park that day on Saturday, and I had to get a few clothes and everything for the occasion. So I went into the city to go shopping, and I've been caught in the whirlwind of just all the people.
Well, of course, 300,000 people in the city.
I forgot that the pageant was on. So
go to
West
Lakes.
Huge. Yeah, I know. How do you forget such a monumental Adelaide, event? But I did, and I didn't realise how many people would actually be there. And the funny thing is, after making such a song and dance about how I probably wouldn't go for another 20 years or something, I ended up having to watch a good 15, 20 minutes of it because I couldn't cross the road into Rundle Mall. And not only did I have to watch, the pageant, I had to watch the main draw card as well. I was watching Santa come down.
Santa Claus is coming.
The big old Santa float was coming down, and I had to stand there and watch that for a good 15 minutes or something.
Did you get a wave from Big Man?
No, he could probably detect that I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, your Grinch enemy.
He gave me the middle finger.
I mean, you got off pretty lightly heading to the shops for that. Some people were actually going down there at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, yeah,
to get their prime position.
See, I remember when I was a kid, you hear about people on the news, getting there at 3 in the morning or something, or 4, but 1:30 is a bit rich.
So you happened to go there and catch Santa Claus himself.
Yeah, I watched the
coming
pageant.
down the float.
The
you
big
saw
man.
the pageant.
Yeah, it was a little bit exciting. I'll give him that. He does well.
Look, let's open up the phone lines here. What's your pageant story, Adelaide? I'm sure there's always something going on. Plenty of people getting involved right now. We're going to head to the text line. Somebody said, forgot to bring the chalk.
Uh-oh.
It's a big hitter. My kid spat it at me. Didn't hear the end of it.
Jeez, imagine being an adult, having to bribe other kids for some chalk. Being like, can I buy some chalk off you for my kids?
Hey, kid.
We got another text in here saying, I was meant to be on the Christmas ad when I was a toddler, but I cried when they took the balloon back from me, so they went with another kid.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's tough.
First rejection.
Rough one. Someone said best memory was being on one of the floats on TV when I was a kid. It was like being famous at school.
Yeah, that is very cool. Hey, we're going to head down to Surrey Downs. We got Alex on the line. Alex, good morning to you. What happened at the Christmas pageant?
Good morning, guys. Well, I've actually never been to the Christmas pageant.
You've never been?
Years old.
I'm so sorry
never.
to hear.
Yeah, what happened? Why'd you never go? Did you go to the local one or not even that?
No, not even that. I've just my parents never took me. So.
What's your relationship like with your parents?
Yeah, definitely not one to dive into.
For a Monday morning?
Does it appeal to you to go to the pageant? Or do you reckon you'll go as an adult or anything anytime soon?
I reckon when I've got little grubs running around, I'll definitely take them, that's for sure.
Yeah, right the wrongs, mate.
Robbed as a kid.
Good on you, Alex. Thanks for getting involved, mate. I can't believe that. 28 years old, never been to the pageant.
Do it for your 30th.
I believe...
Big 30th pageant party.
I believe Davo said off air, that sounds like some kind of abuse to not go to a pageant.
Hey, we don't need to get into that, but look, what a shame,
It is a shame. Hey, we're going to go to David in Glenelg. David, good morning, mate. What happened at the Christmas pageant?
Morning, guys. So Friday just gone, I was at a mate's place in the city. He lives in the city. And sure enough, people were camping out already Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
With their deck chairs, everything.
That's wild. What are you doing, laying there all night with your kids? Can't.
Literally.
Then you have to consider, how are they showering? And, that's a full day of, just, not doing any, brushing their teeth, stuff like that.
I don't know how I would cope with 300,000 people after sitting up all night.
Yeah.
Then having to wake up to this chaos.
Yeah, I think the worst part of all that would be when the pageant's over and you're packing up, but you can't leave till everybody behind you has left.
That's true as well. It's a real nightmare.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
It's one of those times where we get a new batch of predictions from Baba Vanga, the lady who was blind when she was 12 from a storm incident, and she's from Bulgaria. She's a mystic, and every year she's been dead since like 1996. She's not around anymore, but since her passing, she's had a long list of every year kind of predictions up until a certain point.
And we've got the list for
2024.
So, I mean, this chicky babe, what's she predicted so far that's so special?
She's been pretty on point. She got 9/11 right. She predicted that. The death of Princess Diana, she got. The Chernobyl disaster.
Jeez, bearer of good news.
And Brexit. Yeah, she's a bit of a downer.
What's this? Yeah, I was going to say, so did she only really predict like death and carnage? What's her name? Baba Yaga? Isn't that the boogeyman?
Baba Vanga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't said to predict anything too happy, like a new Pop-Tart flavour or something.
Yeah.
It's just been pretty
world peace would be nice.
Catastrophic events.
Come on.
But she's got the new set of predictions for 2024 that she thinks will come to light. And obviously, some of them are hit and miss. They don't always happen. But the first one, assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin.
Okay.
Okay.
Watch out. Huge economical crisis. Watch your wallets.
Wonderful.
Terrifying weather events and natural disasters.
Are you joking?
Which sucks because we've had such hit and miss weather
It's
all
been
year.
bad.
It's good today.
It's not bad today.
Let's live in the today.
I guess so. You wouldn't want to be in Queensland, would you?
Yeah,
Jeez.
true. I mean, I guess that could lead on to that. This one here, this is really weird, and this is really interesting because at the time of predicting this, she would have no idea what this sort of would look like. But she said hackers going for power grids and water treatment plants. So cyber hacking is going to be a really massive thing.
Okay.
Bubba.
Well,
Are you right?
2024 doesn't sound like it's going to be the best year of any of these come true.
There are two positives. Huge breakthrough in quantum computing. So if you like your tech, if you like your technology, we're looking pretty good on that front.
What is quantum computing relay into?
So I think it's just it's like real small
Elon Musk, AI.
Yeah. I think it is just like real specific tiny tech sort of stuff. But the biggest positive that everyone will be pleased to know is that she thinks there'll be new treatment for diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer.
Oh.
So,
I mean, that's great.
With all
obviously.
the negatives, there is a big positive there. So hopefully that comes to fruition.
Yeah, hopefully she can get all the negative ones wrong for next year.
Honestly.
And just get the positive ones. We deserve a good year.
Oh, mate, absolutely. How'd she go with COVID? Did she predict that or?
I don't think so. No, it came sort of left field.
Let's just
forgot about that one.
Davo, Tom and Callum podcast. Davo, Tom and Callum podcast.
I'll have what she's having.
Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast. It's time to face your fears. 12 irrational phobias, but only one can be the scariest. Tournament of Terror on Fresh 92.7.
That's it. It is our Tournament of Terror, making your irrational fears rational, Adelaide. There's 12 different fears each day. You can head to our Instagram at Fresh927 and vote for which is the scariest fear until eventually there will be one winner. Adelaide's biggest fear.
That's it. We've had so many different rounds, like we said before. And on Friday, it was round 5 between germs and needles, and it saw the closest difference there between 51% for needles and 49% for germs. So, like you said, we will keep going down the line until we find the scariest fear.
And we've opened up the text line here, 0428 927 927. Davo, what are the two fears today?
So today the fears are between sharks and spiders.
Yes. Now, I have a lot to say about this. Obviously, I'm pretty scared of the ocean. Sharks are one of the main reasons. But in day-to-day life, I'm going to say spiders are scarier because you deal with them more often.
Was it not a case of there was a spider in your room and you slept on the couch for it wasn't a week?
It wasn't
how long
a
was
spider in my room. There was a spider crawling up my leg in my bed.
Yeah.
And I freaked out and I slept on the couch for that week and got Dad to go in there and take care of it.
With a baseball bat and a cricket helmet on.
Called in the family.
And when was that, last week? Or
It was like last year.
You joked, Davo, but it was in a close time frame. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think sharks are a hell of a lot scarier. I mean, just you got the movies on them, you got the big old teeth. I think they're just terrifying.
Well, that is exactly what we're asking, Adelaide. 0428 927 927. What is scarier, spiders or sharks? Plenty of people getting involved on the text line right now. Somebody said spiders are way scarier. They have 8 legs. Sharks have none.
Yep.
Going for the leg route.
We got one for sharks. Someone says sharks. I was at Brighton Beach recently when they got everyone out of the water. Real life Jaws.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is
Crazy
scary if you're around a shark, but it just doesn't happen all that often. We're going to go to Hayden in Port Wakefield. Hayden, mate, good morning to you. What do you think is scarier, spiders or sharks?
Spiders for me.
Spiders,
Yeah.
okay.
Ooh,
Have you seen
dead on.
Have you seen Harry Potter with the big massive spider that talks?
Chamber of Secrets, number 2. Scary movie.
I don't watch Harry Potter.
No, that's fair. Have you had a run-in with a spider that scared you silly?
Yes, last year I was driving down Port Wakefield Highway with my 2 mates in my car, and we seen a massive huntsman on our roof.
Nah.
Big huntsman.
Inside the car?
Inside of the car.
Yeah,
Oh, hate that.
Was that a pull over immediately situation, and did someone swat it with a newspaper, or what happened?
We pulled over. We couldn't get it out the car because it hid somewhere.
Nah.
So
So we all
Yeah. Nah, not
drove
about
down
that.
To this day.
Remember that happened to me recently? That was horrible, and I had to pull over, and it was sticking out the aircon vent. Oh.
Yeah, no good. Hey, thanks for getting involved, Hayden. We're going to head over to Tara in Aberfoyle Park. Tara, spiders or sharks, what's scarier?
Good morning, guys. I definitely think sharks are scarier. I watched Jaws when I was younger, and every time I'm in the ocean, I can just hear that sound effect every time.
Tara, have you seen a shark in real life before?
No, but I just know it's going to happen.
Yeah, have you seen a spider in real life before?
I sure have.
Yeah, but
there's
the
your evidence.
percentile of like if you were to see a shark in the water, you're probably more likely to be doomed than if you were to see a spider in real life, which happens more often. But the safety around seeing a spider is like, nothing bad's going to happen to you. It rarely happens. Rarely do people get bitten where it's fatal.
Sometimes sharks just leave you alone. I mean, if you upset a nest of redback spiders, you're in for a world of hurt.
Well, you shouldn't be around redbacks.
But also, I need to say, my dad once went to hospital. He got bit by a whitetail spider.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Happened
He
to
was
my
really
auntie as
unwell.
well. It disintegrates the skin. They are poisonous.
Yeah,
scary.
Callum.
I'm saying if you want to see a shark, I'm saying something bad's going to happen as well.
Hey, look, Fresh Fam, you've heard from us now. It's your chance to go to our Instagram at Fresh927 and vote on the poll. What is scarier, spiders or sharks? We are here to find Adelaide's biggest fear.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
A lot has happened in 2023, and as I guess the year starts to wrap up, some things have started to come out. And one of those examples is this chick, Tiffany Gomez. And if you don't know her name, she's famous for this.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going.
Yes, to a lot of people, she's the annoying woman that halted their plane ride to their family holiday.
She sounded like Mickey Mouse up there, just getting really upset.
Yeah, so in the video, she's obviously crying and pointing at someone saying they're not real. But in the video, you never quite see who she's talking about.
Yeah, this was an absolute storm, though, because in the original video, there was speculation about who she was talking about. It was zooming up on different faces, and it's zooming up on this one poor bloke's face, and it's like, look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. They look like lizard eyes. And,
for goodness sakes.
Accusing the man of being an alien or otherworldly being.
Well, that's the thing, because this woman was yelling at a man saying he's not real. All these conspiracy theorists started coming out of their holes, speculating that lizard person, such stuff like that. But she has come out on a podcast just recently, the Pardon podcast.
Yeah, because people have been sort of trying to find her for months and months and get comment and sort of find out what happened, what was going on. So she come out and told us.
She has revealed what she actually saw, and it's time to keep those tinfoil hats back off because it was nothing. She saw nothing.
What is she claiming she saw?
She said the reason I haven't come out for so long is because she is feeling a little cringy from the whole situation.
I mean, it's mortifying.
But basically, what happened was she got into a bit of an altercation with this man over a seat, and it spiraled out of control and turned into this.
So what she's saying, this guy's a fake guy, like as in like he's just fake because he wouldn't give me his seat.
I guess so. I don't think she's thought of that though.
Boys, this is fishy. And I know that we say that you guys have rubbed off on me, and I feel like this might be a case because this is a conspiracy, and I reckon the government has come after her and said, excuse me, you're not to say anything just because you saw a lizard in the back seat.
Yeah, don't mind the lizard. Just keep your mouth shut. And what an awful excuse. If the government have taken her aside and said, don't talk about it.
Well, she's gone dark for months.
What a terrible excuse for her to be like, oh, by the way, if anyone asks you, just say, I don't know what I was talking about. You know,
say it was something with the seat. Everyone gets upset with seats.
Everyone hates seats. It's so relatable. It really makes people forget about the alien stuff.
There's a hot take, Adelaide. It was a lizard person on the plane.
First rule of the Davo, Tom and Callum podcast is you don't talk about the Davo, Tom and Callum podcast. The second rule of the Davo, Tom and Callum podcast is you don't talk about the Davo, Tom and Callum podcast.
We love a good auction, but there's always one sly hindrance that happens when we bring one person in particular. I shouldn't say bring him because it's our big boss. He brings us to these things. But we went to the Grange Golf Club on Friday we did our show there, and Tom and I got to play a few rounds of golf and everything, and it was great fun.
All for St. John's Golf Day. Yeah. Amazing event there to raise heaps of money for St. John's.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really good charity day, but towards the end of it, there was a bit of a lunch thing, and amidst the lunch, there was a big auction section, and there's a silent auction going. So pretty much, I guess you could describe it that they had a bunch of items, all different things around this, table, and you go up and you write down your bid. And then throughout the day, people can go up and say that you've got a bid there. They can outbid you until, the last 5 minutes. And then that's when the big rush is. That's when people chuck down their final bids and try and outdo people for that big prize.
Now, you guys have a really bad history with auctions because famously we're all pretty down on our luck money-wise, and you guys seem to go to these auctions and think you're going to big ball it.
No, it's it's all for the charity, Davo. All of these auctions we go to, all the money goes to charity. We're just really good people.
Charitable boys,
that's exactly why I may
nothing to do with ego.
Spent quite a couple $100 on a watch.
Well, Tom actually successfully got a watch. So
the worst part about that, right? So I've put in like my last couple $100 till payday next week.
Yeah.
And I've gotten this watch and I can't even wear it because I can't afford to go get the links out yet. It's too big.
And we were just talking about what we're going to have for lunch today. Barmy, Subway, and you're like, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. I bought the watch.
Gotta finish my work and try and go home as early as I can. I've got food there.
But there was one item in particular that I was fighting for with our other boss, Sophie, and it was a 10-kilo block of Cadbury chocolate. So if you imagine this thing, it's how long do you reckon it is?
It was about 1.5 meters tall.
Yeah, and it's like really thick, 10 kilos, huge block of chocolate, novelty size. And for quite a while, we were going head to head, trying to outdo each other on the bids until we thought we'll work together. And we put down $150, so 75 each for, just a split.
5 kilos of chocolate.
Yeah, just a straight split. And we thought, that's a bit better than, spending all of the money on it, right?
Which you guys are idiots because you kept pushing each other's bid up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realise she was going to bid. I had the very intention that no one was going to touch her. Like, no one had bidded until she did. But then the big honcho, the big fat cat, the man upstairs, our big boss, he swoops in on it. He swoops in on the Cadbury chocolate in the last 5 minutes. But not only does he bid, but he bids it up to $200. So it's out of reach for,
He really
his mere employees.
Yeah.
Now, what could have led him to outbidding you by so much to make sure he got the 10 kilos of chocolate you so desperately wanted?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, you didn't get him a drink and he got upset when he left the table.
He had a petty
and you got
argument
yourself one and you didn't offer him one or anyone else one.
He had a champagne
and
already
he thought,
on the table.
Stuff this bloke and stuff his bloody chocolate. I'm going to get it for myself.
You know what the crazy thing was as well, which really solidified the petty nature of it? When he won the chocolate, I came back to my seat and he had the 10-kilo block of chocolate resting on my seat as if it was a person.
You've been replaced.
Just a reminder.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.